Tucker Carlson exposes Justin Trudeau in Canada and makes a new enemy. Trump is hit with trumped up charges in New York. In an effort to go green, President Biden kills jobs, contracts, and relationships with ally nations. And the war over the border goes from small to civil war almost overnight. Plus, a big update on the war in Israel and Gaza. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out. So, thank you so much. Welcome to today's live news broadcast. President Joe Biden has just announced that he is pausing all pending natural gas export permits until further notice. Biden stated, "This pause on new LNG, liquid natural gas approval, sees the climate crisis for what it is, the existential threat of our time." Originally, a $10 billion project was being built on the Louisiana coast for the purpose of exporting more liquid natural gas to other countries such as Europe. While this would have likely made the government a lot of money indirectly, Biden has once again given the U.S. energy sector the middle finger. It's not quite clear how this might affect us domestically with production and with the cost of natural gas. Now, why would Joe Biden do this? According to a op-ed in the New York Times, the Biden administration met with young climate activists, which convinced them of the harm of liquid natural gas on the environment. The activists likely argued that liquid natural gas in particular is very harmful to the climate because of the methane, which can leak into the atmosphere without multiple stages of its production and transportation. Now, in reality, I believe Joe Biden made the decision to hurt the liquid natural gas sector in order to appeal to young voters, especially since he wasn't able to deliver on student loan debt forgiveness. Remember, everything that people do when they're in office is about maintaining power and getting votes, and that's exactly what's going on here. Now, unfortunately for Biden, he is now under fire from his own party for making politically motivated decisions. Remember, when they go back to campaign in their district, they need good things to talk about, not, hey, look how terrible the war's doing. Look how expensive food is. We just killed natural gas and a bunch of jobs. Now, Democrat Senate Energy Chair Joe Manchin of West Virginia committed to investigating the action and stated that his main concern is to protect American consumers and businesses from paying premiums for resources we have access to. Now, additionally, Joe Manchin argued that America is abandoning our allies and forcing them to go to countries like Russia in order to get their resources, which only helps them fund the destruction of Ukraine. So Biden does not use common sense. He just does whatever he thinks is going to keep his voters happy. And sadly, he does not care that Americans are struggling financially. Now, Biden hasn't done this much to hurt the energy sector since he canceled the Keystone pipeline and secretly blew up the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Now, in an effort to appease everyone, Biden also took a trip to pose for a photo with the union workers in Wisconsin. But like always, Biden ended up embarrassing himself by having the hard hat on backwards. Following the incident, Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida joked, "Somebody's going to be fired for that embarrassment." All right, now rest assured, Biden is not fooling anyone. United Auto Worker President Sean Fain appeared on Fox News and stated, "The majority of our members are going to vote with their paychecks. They're going to vote for an economy that works for them. They're going to vote for a president. When you look at these two presidents, the choice is very clear about which one stands up with working class," referencing Donald Trump, "and stands up with labor, and which one stands with the billionaire class, and that is his base." So basically, the head of the United Auto Workers president is like, listen, as an organization, we're behind Joseph Robinette Biden, but he's like, I know for a fact they're all voting for Trump because they made more money under Trump. They paid less taxes. Everything was more affordable. So the United Auto Workers has endorsed Biden, but even they are admitting Biden is doing a terrible job. Now, incredibly, the election interference case against Donald Trump has now taken a twist that I did not expect down in Georgia. The Georgia State Senate has officially approved an investigation with subpoena power to look into the allegations against District Attorney Fani Willis. If Willis is in fact proven to be corrupt, this may be the big win that Donald Trump and his reelection campaign have been looking for. I'll continue to keep you updated on that. By the way, thank you guys so much for joining me today and giving this video a like and sharing. It really helps me out. So thank you guys so much. Okay, now following the Supreme Court's ruling to allow the Biden administration to remove barbed wire from the Texas-Mexico border, former President Donald Trump has just called for all willing states to deploy their National Guard to Texas. Trump stated all Americans should support the common sense measures by Texas authorities to protect the safety, security, and sovereignty of Texas and of the American people. So far, 25 states have pledged support to the state of Texas. Now, I find this really interesting. We've been seeing basically two presidents running the country. One is running the entire country, that's Joe Biden. And then the other one, Trump, has basically been running the Republican side of the country. So he's saying, send your support to Texas, sue them, send your National Guard. And Biden is like, let them in, let the illegals in, give them everything they want, give them all that taxpayer money, give them lawyers, give them food, give them lodging, send them to red states so that they can vote for us. So we really are seeing a civil war ramp up, not only from a protect the nation standpoint, but from who's trying to run the country. Donald Trump is, in fact, running a successful shadow government against Joe Biden. Now, Texas Governor Greg Abbott told Tucker Carlson that he will not allow illegal orders from the Biden administration concerning the border. Greg Abbott stated he will do as much as possible to put up more border barriers and deny illegal entry, and will work regardless of what the Biden administration is doing. When commenting on what he'd do if the Biden administration tried to seize the National Guard, Greg Abbott stated he already planned for that possibility by signing a new law that will allow any law enforcement officer in the state of Texas to arrest anyone who comes into the border illegally. That new law will go into effect on in the month of March. Now, this means the state of Texas and the 25 Republican states backing Governor Abbott are essentially at civil war with Biden and the DC swamp. Now, let me know in the comments down below, do you think that this is the right move? Do you think that Texas has the right to defend its own border, to be the first layer of defense of getting into the interior of the United States of America? Maybe just give a thumbs up or say yes, yes, yes. Let me know down below. I want to hear from you guys. Okay, now let me go back to Tucker Carlson. He has just accused Justin Trudeau of Canada of committing genocide against his own Canadian citizens by allowing the government to assist in unaliving Canadian citizens. Here's what Tucker said. If you're killing 50,000 of your citizens and the government is doing that through the MAID program, and a lot of them are not actually terminally ill, they're just sad. And the government is encouraging them to submit to being killed by the government and then won't release the recent statistics. What is that? Yeah, it's genocide. That's exactly what it is. So many people don't know this, but Canada is one of the few countries where if you're sad or lonely or you're homeless or you're poor or you're addicted to drugs or you're going through a hard time, or you're terminally ill, you can ask the government to unalive you legally. And they thought that this would be a small thing. And so far, over 50,000 people have come forward. So Tucker Carlson, being an investigative journalist for almost 30 years, is calling this out for what it is. This is genocide by the Prime Minister of Canada. At least that's how he sees it. And that was a big story. So I wanted to make sure to bring that to your guys' attention. By the way, I'm not ignoring you. I see your comments over here. They're going so fast, but let me just keep going with this news broadcast. Now, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada is all butthurt and saying Tucker Carlson is a bad guy. Do not listen to Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is evil. He was fired from Fox News. Nobody really likes him. So this madman in Canada is saying to ignore Tucker Carlson. But really, what he's trying to do is distract Americans and the Canadian people from the fact that they've assisted 50,000 people in ending their own life. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. If you trust Tucker Carlson more than Justin Trudeau, I want you to put Tucker. And if you trust Justin Trudeau more than Tucker, I want you to write Justin. So Tucker or Justin? Let me know in the comments. Let's light it up, everybody. All right, now, despite massive retaliation, the Houthis are not backing down from attacking vessels in the Red Sea, and the United States military is having to ramp up their attacks against Yemen. Now, according to a new report, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is set to ask China's foreign minister for help to convince Iran to stop the Houthi attacks. Even though this may come off as weak, I understand the move because the Houthis have vowed not to attack Russian and Chinese shipping vessels. Now, China, according to Reuters News, China is demanding their oil trade partner Iran step in and shut down the Houthi attacks because they are the ones funding this terrorist group. Now, if you remember, China has a $450 billion oil contract with Iran, and they don't want their ships being attacked. In fact, I don't believe China wants any other country's ships being attacked because remember, China is trying to dominate the globe through capitalism and commerce. Even though they're a communist country, they understand the power of capitalism. And so they don't want any kind of disruption for the economy and the financial sector of China. And so we'll see whether this demand from China lands softly or if it lands firmly. But they are now demanding their partner Iran shut these attacks on the Red Sea down. Over in Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has responded to allegations of genocide by the International Court of Justice. Netanyahu argued that his country has a right to defend itself and stated, the charges of genocide leveled against Israel is not only false, it's outrageous. And decent people everywhere should reject it. Just today, Netanyahu reiterated its commitment by stating, our war is against Hamas terrorists, not against Palestinian civilians. Now, interestingly enough, the International Court has ruled in Israel's favor and has publicly stated that they do not believe Israel is committing genocide, but that Israel must do everything within their power to avoid death in the Gaza area with the Palestinian people. Now, I've been very clear on my position. I believe Israel has the right to defend themselves. I don't believe Israel has the right to kill a bunch of innocent people. And I know it's really hard to differentiate, so I'll continue to keep you updated on that. Now, a New York court and a Clinton-assigned judge has found Donald Trump guilty of defamation for saying he did not R-word a woman in New York in the 1980s. The jury and the judge have decided that Donald Trump must pay her $84 million for defaming her, not for actually R-wording her, but for saying he didn't R-word her in a department store dressing room. Trump has already publicly announced that this is a kangaroo court and that he is innocent, and he will appeal this in court filings. Both sides brought very interesting arguments. I'll let you decide what the truth is. But I don't know. I don't really know what to make of it. But $84 million is extremely excessive. I know that. Now, the head of the RNC, Ronna McDaniels, has said it's time to acknowledge Donald J. Trump is the Republican nominee and move funds over to the general election. However, Donald Trump has rejected this idea. He said, now, we are going to let the voting process work its way out. To me, this is Trump rejecting being coronated. He wants Nikki Haley to drop out on her own. He also wants her to have the right to campaign in South Carolina or for however long donors will put up with it. So he wants the country to vote and see him win. He doesn't want to just be awarded the spot or coronated like some kind of a king. Now, this caught me a little bit off guard. I thought, oh, he would definitely say, yep, it's mine. Give it to me. Let's move on. But this is a guy that's trying to go by the law. And so he's saying, no, we have to let the election process work itself out correctly. And so that's exactly what is going to happen. All right, now, before you go, I want to remind you that you are amazing. Make sure to check out the interviews that I did yesterday. They were both excellent. One of them was with Steve Cortez on how Trump is going to improve the country once he gets back into office. The other one, you'll just have to go and watch. It's with the author of a book called Amateur Hour, and he walks through some crazy stuff about Kamala Harris and the things Joe Biden said about her behind her back. It's just going to absolutely blow your mind. Hey, thank you guys so much for giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. We're getting so close to 1.5 million amazing subscribers seeking the truth and sharing the truth. Hey, thanks so much and have a great weekend.